I was in third, fourth grade that decided I wanted to be a chef.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
When you finally decided to go to your parents and say, hey, I might want to do this, were they supportive?
It wasn't even like that because, I was watching TV and I was watching Food Network and I was talking about food and I was thinking about food and I was making, buttered pasta, and with my free time I tried to go learn how to cook, and I go to the library and look at cookbooks. So it was never like hey, I think this is what I want to do.
Yeah, they already saw it.
They saw it. It was clear as day.
Okay.
And I think they were a little scared because they saw how hard my grandpa had worked running the bakery. And they're like, do you really want to do this? Like, this is hard work. And I, of course, I was 10 at this point. Like, what do I know? Like, nah, this is awesome. Like, making muffins, that's tight.
Yeah.
Or whatever I was making. But yeah, so that's when I told them, or they could kind of tell.
Yeah. Did your grandfather ever try to stop you?
I never got to meet my grandpa.
Oh,
my grandpa passed away. I'm gonna mess this up, but let's say like 5 or 6 years before I was born.
Okay.
And he he's like a huge inspiration in my life.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool that he had that impact on you and he was not around.
Well, it's like the story of his life is he was born on like right on the border of Alsace, France. So he was born in Germany.
Yeah.
And he left Germany he was like, I don't know, 7 because of the Holocaust. So he fled Germany, moved to America, became he started sweeping floors at this bakery. And then he enlisted in the army and he became an interrogator because he was German. And he fought in World War II and he was in France at the Battle of the Bulge.
Okay.
So he was like this. I mean, I can't imagine being around in an American army being a German. His name is Armin Dreifus.
Yeah.
And I don't have a German accent, but he had a thick German accent. And he was fighting in World War II. And then he came back, became a baker, then became head baker, then became manager, then owned the bakery, then owned the building.
Yeah.
In the course of his lifetime. So, I mean, a true American dream. Just so much hard work.
He's a fucking hero. I mean, to leave a situation like that and then be like, now I'm going to go back and fight those motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, hardcore.
Yeah.
And I felt, and he loved food.
Yeah.
He loved food so much. And so Armin was a big inspiration. And even before, when his family lived in Germany, they were wholesale meat butchers. So food.
So there's a lineage in your family of food.
Yeah,
very cool
for sure.
What was your first job?
I was. I mean, depending upon who's asking, but I was 13, which is not necessarily legal. That's fine. I worked at this pizza place in my town called Villa Maria.
Okay.
And it was like a fucking pirate ship. It was the coolest place I ever saw. There were, fire and women and alcohol. I mean, not that I was even drinking it, but it's just being around you, holy shit, this felt like a pirate ship. There was a lot of people with missing fingers. And I can't even, I could spend the next 2 hours talking about the crazy shit I saw at this restaurant. Just squashbuckling. And I was like, this is amazing. I love this place.
Yeah. How long you end up working there?
I started in 8th grade. I finished at 10th grade.
Okay.
I worked the salad station. I was chopping mushrooms, cutting cucumbers. Just basic mise en place. I had never worked in a restaurant before. I would go in a half an hour early sometimes, just to cut iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
And make the pre-mixed dressing.
Yeah.
And if I was lucky, I get to slice some meatballs.
Yeah.
Or they would show me how to pick up a I mean, they would never say pick up, how to cook the pasta that they would have all pre-portioned. And I was it was so hot and it was so passionate and wild, and I loved it. And so I worked at this, and they 99% of what they made was homemade stuff. I have a distinct memory of freshly made meatballs and the sauce, and they would they would bake their own bread, and it was just a red sauce New York Italian spot, but it was excellent.
Yeah.
For what they were doing, and just a good neighborhood spot, and I loved it.
Gotcha. So what made you leave? Well, I mean, you're a sophomore. You're probably getting a little bit rebellious.
No, well, kind of. I was really into punk rock.
Okay.
I still am into punk rock. And me and my buddy Drew and a bunch of my other friends, we got into. We started a band.
Okay.
And
What's the name?
It's My Strapping Stimulus Package. It was 2008.
Yeah, of course.
So
everybody was sad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had exactly. I was like this crazy punk rock kid with like a huge mohawk.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to like be in a band. And I had been there for 3 years, and it was like, how much more cucumbers can I slice?
Yeah.
How much more red onion can I julienne? And so I stopped. And the last 2 years of high school in New York, you have the option to go to this thing called BOCES, which is a vocational school.
Okay.
Which I'm a big fan of. And I started there. Shout out to John Murphy. The program is phenomenal. And it's for anybody. It's like if you want to be a plumber or a carpenter.
Yeah.
You want to learn how to do nails.
Yep.
Whatever. But I did cooking. And I was just such a fucking nerd. I was so excited to like learn how to cook. I had already been geeking out about the French Laundry Cookbook and like reading about Rick Bayless, and like I thought this was just super cool. And they said this pretty good steakhouse. I mean, it was a great steakhouse in near my house called oh man, I can't believe George Martin.
Gotcha.
And I applied there. I had to chop off my dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks.
Like okay, you see what I'm kind of saying? I that was the kind of kid I was. I chopped off my dreadlocks, applied for a job, and I was on Garde Manger.
Yeah.
And we were making. I mean, that was like a crazy place too. And so I started. I mean, we got 3 stars in the New York Times. So it was like a good restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. I would come into my weekends and 2 of my days off during the school week, and I started working at this steakhouse called George Martin and cooking there. And they would put me on the grill occasionally, and they'd let me like butcher skirt steaks. Mm-hmm. And like the last task I had to do before I went home was julienne 50 pounds of onion for their onion soup.
Yeah.
And then they had, it wasn't a Canberra, it was a bucket.
Yeah.
And like, here, fill this bucket with a small dice of mirepoix for whatever soup they were making. And that, like, you know, we're talking the fundamentals of cooking. Like how to chop an onion, how to like peel pounds and pounds of potatoes, you know, like all the stuff you want your like young cooks to learn. Yeah. That's what I was learning when I was like 15.
Okay.
Peeling potatoes, chopping onions, how to slice it, like butcher a steak, how to, you know, roast a chicken, how to dress a salad properly. Yeah. How to, you know, assemble an ice cream sundae so it looks like, you know, it's an ice cream sundae, but like, how do you make it look like a $15 ice cream sundae versus like something you made at home? Yeah. And I was so passionate about it. I loved it so much. And I would read books, and I would talk to this chef named Chris Holt, who's a really nice guy and very, I mean, I love him to death because he really changed my life. And he taught me how to cook. And between him and going to that that vocational school, I met some amazing people there, and that's when it really started. I mean, we were learning we learned about all the chefs, and we were learning about like knife cuts and what a brunoise is, and like the folklore of what a tournée is, which is like this like oval shape. And like, I was like, wow. And I thought at the time French food was really stupid. I thought like Mexican food was going to be the coolest thing.
Gotcha.
But I was still like fascinated by all of it. I just thought it was really amazing. Cool. And so between those 2 places, it came time to go to college. So I applied to 2 culinary schools.
Okay, which ones?
It was Johnson & Wales and CIA. Uh-huh. And my tour at Johnson & Wales was really funny. Yeah. I went up to them and I was like, I went to Rhode Island, and I was like pretty proud of myself how I did on the SATs. Yeah. And I go up to like a counselor or something, and I was like, just wondering, do you guys do a scholarship for, you know, doing well in the SATs? And they like, holy shit, you took the SATs? That's amazing. Yeah, you get a scholarship. Like, they didn't ask me how I did. Yeah. They just like, you took it. Yeah, you get a scholarship.
People didn't take it.
I was like, oh shit. And then I went to CIA, and a lot of the people I was working for was like, you should go there. And it was a little bit closer to my home.
Yeah, New York, yeah.
And it was different because I was from like the city area, so like this was like more rural, and I was kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
So I went to CIA.
Heard that. You go to CIA. Are you living on campus or doing the whole thing?
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
I went for 3.5 years.
Okay.
So I have a bachelor's there.
Oh, understood. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, cool. Not many people do that there. So
I mean, I think now as it progresses more and more.
Yeah.
But basically, our age was like the first time people really started to do that.
Yeah.
And get like business classes and.
Because that was the thing when I was gonna go, there was no.
Yeah.
None of that. It was just like your 2-year culinary degree.
And
so I was like, okay.
You're only like I think like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
And I think in between that time that changed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a bachelor's degree, and I could say some things about how well the education was there, but I did take those classes.
Yeah.
I took like an economics class, and a writing class, and some science classes.
There needs to be a revamp of what culinary school is, and
plumbing.
Yeah.
Accounting. I mean, we did take some accounting classes, but more like
plumbing is not bad as a class for.
Electrician.
I mean, they should have some. Yeah, they should have those classes at culinary school because you're gonna have to end up fixing shit.
You better believe it. Interpersonal skills,
Yeah.
like how to handle conflict. Like you should learn how to handle a conflict before you're in a kitchen with all these people cooking.
Yeah.
Like if you can de-escalate a conflict, or learn how to like, what do you really want and what are you really trying to say, and you can remove your ego from it.
Yeah.
Man, the world would be better, but definitely kitchens would be a better place.
Yeah.
And you don't learn those things. You learn about like how to make a sauce and like what's the best way to chop a mushroom.
Yeah.
Which I think are good and useful, but like managing your emotions would probably be more helpful.
So, where did you do your internship for?
So I started in October. We were going to begin in June. So I started in October. In November, I emailed Per Se in New York, and I was like, "Can I intern here?" And they're like, "Okay," thinking I'm going to start in like a month or two. I was like, "No, it's going to be like 8 months, 9 months down the line." They're like, "What the fuck are you messaging us this early for?" No, message us like 6 months later. We'll talk then.
Yeah,
like we got enough going on. And so I applied, and I did my stage at Per Se, which was crazy.
Who was the chef there at the time?
Eli Kaime.
Okay.
But I was like, I didn't know anything. I was 18, I think, maybe 19.
Yeah.
I show up with a full mohawk.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. You can only imagine. And I didn't know anything. I was like,
They let you be there with the mohawk?
It wasn't spiked up.
Okay.
I mean, and they knew I had called like so early in advance, and yeah, they were like, basically everybody was just like dumbfounded and be like, "You think you're like a tough guy or something because you have a mohawk?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. Like, no, I am just excited to be here."
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, Chef Eli was like, "Yeah, Dave, get a haircut." I was like, "Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Absolutely.
Immediately. Yeah.
Like I will get a haircut."
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I was a literal teenager.
Yeah.
Like I did not know.
Yeah. You don't know.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's great. 18 years old at Per Se. I don't think there's been many of those.
Oh my god, I just got destroyed.
Yeah. Who is cooking there that we know today?
Some fucking legends.
Yeah.
I mean, like the day I staged, Matt Peters was on Meat Station and just got a promotion to go be a sous chef at the French Laundry.
Damn.
Which, I mean, then he went back to Per Se and became the executive sous chef, and then went to the Bocuse d'Or. We had, who else? I mean, there's an incredible amount of people. There's this guy named Adam Raskin who just opened up this amazing place called St. John's Distillery. Mm-hmm. There's Corey Chow, who just left. He was the chef de cuisine. There's Max Robbins, who... Oh, you know Max,
yeah,
right?
Max Robbins legit.
Max was an intern when I staged there. Max,
okay.
Max was like 20. He was like thin as a rail and like just started to learn how to cook. And I mean, Max is like just so... I mean, he's an incredible human, but he's such a talented cook.
Yeah,
He's
he really
such a talented
is. Yeah.
chef. But it was... Yeah, I met him like when he just started out.
That means that company... I mean, he did a lot with that company because he was with them for a long time. He met his wife there. Like,
oh, yeah, Teresa. And,
yeah.
I mean, and now he's making this like farm to distillery concept.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Is
so
that
cool.
open?
I don't know exactly, but I can say that whatever he's doing, it's going to be badass.
Yeah.
And it's going to be cool as hell. But I think, it takes a minute to make all these alcohols. So I think they're ramping up. Because